Alright, so hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on the long-awaited first impression of Temptu's new Hydra Lock foundation. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit about this foundation and what I think of it, of course, then please keep on watching. Alright, so late last year, Temptu released a new foundation. Of course, this foundation is supposed to offer a flawless finish that is also good for your skin. They claim that this foundation is 4 times more hydrating than hyaluronic acid and also fights the effects of aging with peptides that improve your skin's integrity and the powerful antioxidant goji berry extract. And it's called Hydra Lock. So Hydra Lock foundation promises a few things here, and let's go ahead and go over the promises before we dive right into the specs of it. Now, Temptu is claiming that this is their most advanced skin-like formula ever. It is fast-drying, lightweight, silicone-based formula that's transfer-resistant, water-resistant for 24-hour long wear. It's buildable coverage from sheer to full with a semi-matte finish. Now, there's 2 forms that it's offered in. It's offered in the bottle form, which is called Hydra Lock, and then it's also offered in the air pod form. But in that form, it is actually called Perfect Canvas. So it's the same thing. Hydra Lock and Perfect Canvas are the same formula, just in different vessels, of course. Now, with this formula, Temptu really upped their game by offering more shades. This line actually comes in 18 shades that can either be ready to use for you, or they're custom blendable, which means you can mix them together perfectly to go ahead and create your perfect shade, which is quite different from some of the other lines. I know their Aqua line only has maybe like 10 shades, and the SB line originally only had 12. I'm not sure if they added to the SB line, but I think it still has 12. Anyways, I think they started with like 12 or 15 shades, and then they've been adding on to make sure that they have a shade for everyone, which I thought was really great. So what I'll be testing out today is the Hydra Lock foundation in the bottle form. I purchased the 6-piece foundation starter set that comes with 6 quarter-ounce bottles, and this is in the medium shade range. Anyways, you can find all this information at temptupro.com, of course, for the bottle form. If you're looking for the AirPod form, you can find it both at temptu.com and at temptupro.com. Like I said before, it is called Perfect Canvas, but it's exactly the same formula as the Hydra Lock. Now, since I do have the full medium shade range here, that starter set, I'm going to go ahead and show you some swatches of these shades. For 1, to show you which shade I'm going to be testing out today, and then 2, to kind of give you an idea of what other shades come in this pack. So let's get on to the swatches. So starting from lightest to darkest in this pack, we have Desert, Toffee, Rosewood, Caramel, Tawny, and Amber. Now, it looks like there has been some changes to the packs. The shades that I have are no longer grouped together, and Amber is no longer included among the shades that are offered. Temptu offers these 6-piece sets in the shade ranges fair to light, light to medium, medium to tan, and tan to deep. So the set that includes 5 out of the 6 swatches in this video is the medium to tan shade range collection. Alright, so now it's time for applying the foundation. So here I'm going to switch over to me actually applying the foundation for you and kind of give you my immediate first impressions as I go ahead and try the foundation out. Alright, so it's time to try this baby out. Here we go. Temptu Hydra Lock Airbrush Foundation on my Temptu 2.0 compressor. So here I'll be taking shade number 7, which is Desert. And I'm just going to go ahead and shake it up real good. And then I'm going to go ahead and just apply my airbrush makeup like so. I like to usually start with the under eye area and just kind of get that lightly concealed. That way I don't have to worry about it later on when I already have my foundation on the rest of my face. And then it's just small circular motions all over my face to just go ahead and try to get as even as a coverage as possible. So to start off, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of focus just on one side of my face just to see what kind of coverage I get. So walking through the rest of the coverage on my face, I'm going to go ahead and try to spot conceal a little bit here, and seems like I'm getting a little bit of coverage, more so than the SB line. I mean, you can still kind of see my blemishes, but I mean, it's covering a little bit better than the SB so far. And so after what seems like forever trying to get the normal coverage that I usually get, I am out of foundation. It's just 10 drops that I used and only covered half of my face with a lesser amount of coverage than I'm used to getting. So, I mean, you could see even out my skin tone, but that's about as far as it went with the 10 drops. I'll zoom you in closer so you can take a closer look. Nice even skin tone. You can still see a lot of my imperfections showing through though. And that was 10 drops. Now normally with my other airbrush makeup I use about 12 drops and that covers my whole face with a fuller coverage than what I'm getting here. So I'm going to take some more drops and do the other side of my face. So here I took about 15 more drops because I wanted to have a little bit extra after to go ahead and conceal, to try to even out my skin tone, maybe spot conceal where I can, to see if I can get some more coverage out of this. One thing I will say about this foundation is for getting your skin tone perfectly even, it's working pretty great. If you have imperfections on your skin, obviously it's going to be a lot harder to cover. And then you have the under eye area where I didn't really achieve the coverage that I'm used to, and this product says that it's a concealer as well, and it's supposed to be everything built into one, and I could still see a lot of my dark circles shining through. So I mean, expectation wise it's not quite there, but it is doing something as far as skin, and that is just evening out my skin tone at this point. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish applying my foundation like so. Okay, so now you can definitely see that both sides are the same. So let's take a closer look, shall we? This is the coverage I got using 25 drops of Hydra Lock foundation. This is 25 drops, guys. And I'm not new to airbrush makeup, okay? I'm pretty seasoned, and I still didn't get the amount of coverage that I was looking for, and I used an insane amount of drops. So full face, I mean, it did even out my skin tone, so I mean that's a good thing, but I'm still on the fence. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more and then try to spot conceal some of my imperfections here. So some of the age spots I have on my skin, lightly pulling back on the lever, of course, to try to go ahead and fix some of that, because you know I really prefer that you don't see all my imperfections. Now I did notice through the editing of this video that I was creating hotspots because, let's just face it, I'm desperate to get this product to work on my skin and it's just not working so far. And by no means am I new at airbrush makeup. I've been doing airbrush makeup for over 5 years, so I know how to control my lever. I know my equipment. I know, you know, how to apply foundation and get the coverage I need. And I'm just not getting it right now with this foundation. And, you know, I just feel like it's not really doing it for me. And I can't figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong. But I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to keep trying and keep trying to see if I can get it to live up to what they hyped it to be, because, you know, it did look promising. This is why I'm doing this test for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to try to spot correct and just get my skin as even as I possibly can. As you can see, the under eye area, I didn't get any coverage at all throughout the first 25 drops, but for the sake of this video, I'll go ahead and try to add more, see if it does anything now that it's set in. And I'm still not getting any more coverage, so I mean, for the sake of making it even, I gotta do the other eye, but I can still see my dark circles showing through, some texture as well. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to try to cover the rest of my face. And bear in mind, I added about 10 more drops, so all in all 35 drops in total. So that's it for my face. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup now. Now my under eye area was still a little iffy. As far as the rest of my skin, it looks pretty even now. With the rest of my makeup, it looks a lot better. So for my under eye area, what I did was take some Ben Nye banana powder on a beauty blender, and I just went ahead and dusted it on, and it did kind of correct the texture issues I was having under there, and kind of gave me a little bit more coverage. So this is the final look of my skin. Let me go ahead and zoom you in, and this is the coverage I got. This is the finish I got. I don't know, what do you guys think? Alright, so now that you've seen the swatches and you've seen me apply it and kind of got a little bit of an idea of what I thought about the foundation as I was applying it, I'm going to go ahead and give you my final thoughts. So I wrote a couple things down here to go ahead and keep my thoughts organized as far as my final thoughts here. So let's start with the color match. The color match was pretty good. Usually with the other foundations I have to mix two shades together. Of course the Silk Sphere you can't mix two shades together. So I am shade number 7 in that line. And so because of that I tried out shade number 7 here, which is Desert, and it was a perfect match. It seems like it was a perfect match in this lighting right here. We'll find out when I do the stress test, of course, if it actually is a perfect match in daylight. But for now, it looks like it's a pretty good match, which is very good because they do, like I said before, they do have 18 shades and it's supposed to be a shade for everyone. So I'm really happy with the color match. And then as far as the finish, now the finish is true to their description. It is a semi-matte finish. It's very smooth, yet it has a natural look to it. It doesn't look really made up, which I'm actually quite surprised about. As far as the feel of the makeup, it feels really lightweight compared to the SB foundation. I mean, it's night and day. The SB foundation, you can definitely tell that you are wearing something on your face. I don't know if it's because I also had to set it with powder because my skin was oily, but it felt like you were wearing a mask. This foundation is a lot lighter, and I don't know per se if my skin can breathe. I can still feel like I have a little bit of makeup on, but it's definitely not as heavy as their normal SB foundation is. So I'm definitely kind of liking the feel of this foundation. Of course, I'm used to water-based, breathable airbrush makeup, so I mean, I can feel it a little bit, but it's not deterring me at all. As far as the coverage, I feel like I got more coverage using this foundation definitely than the SB foundation. Now with the SB foundation, if you've been following my journey with Temptu products, I had the hardest time covering up my spots and imperfections on my skin. I couldn't cover it to save my life. Even though they say that formula was buildable, I had the hardest time building that coverage on my skin. It got to the point where I would have to apply it, set it, and then apply some more. And I mean, for me, that's just a little bit too tedious. Of course, I choose Airbrush Makeup just because it's a little bit faster, and that took a lot of time to do. So I have to say with this foundation, the coverage is a little bit more spot on than the SB. I was definitely able to cover some of my spots, not all the way, of course, but I was definitely able to cover it to a point that I'm comfortable with, which is amazing because, like I said before, I couldn't get that coverage using the regular SB foundation. So that is a plus. The amount of drops used though to do the coverage, I feel like I used less than the SB foundation, but then I used way more than my normal water-based foundation. I mean, I used probably a little bit more than 2 times the amount that I normally use when I use my water-based foundation. So I don't know as far as how long these bottles are going to last me if I'm using twice as much, but you know, that's something that only time will tell. Of course, I have to use twice as much to get the coverage that I want. If you have clearer skin, you probably will be using a lot less. But for me, I like a little bit more of a coverage. So that is a little bit of a down point that I have to use more than what I'm used to, but we'll see depending on how long this lasts. So all those things being said, I feel like this formula is a yay for me as far as coverage, feel, and the finish of the formula. Now as far as staying power, that's probably going to be the deal breaker for me because I'm used to having a makeup stay on my skin, so that'll be the next thing I'm testing. So the staying power will be something that I'll be testing in a future video, of course, trying to see how long this actually lasts on my skin. Like I said before, if you've been following me, you know I had a hard time getting the SB foundation to kind of stay on my skin throughout the day. Like I said, I have oily skin and it just wouldn't let my skin breathe under there, and it wouldn't stay on to save my life. So hopefully this foundation will be a little bit different, and I mean, honestly, that's going to be the deciding factor for me personally. As far as finish, feel, coverage, 100%, it's 10 times better than the SB foundation. I can definitely see why they're building off of this line and why they're pumping it up so much. They definitely have a gem with this formula as far as in comparison to their other formulas. So I'm kind of excited to see what else they come out with. I know they came out with adjusters for this formula, highlighters, and all kinds of stuff. Hopefully they come out with a blush too, that way you can do a full face of Hydra Lock. That would be amazing. But who knows what they have up and coming. You just gotta watch their Facebook lives and stalk them on social media and find out, like I have. All in all, final thoughts. The product is a yay for now. Like I said, deal breaker will be seeing how the lasting power is on this product. But for now, it's a yay, and I am excited to go ahead and see how long it actually stays on the skin and test it out. So hopefully this video was informative enough for you. It gave you a little bit of an idea about the Hydra Lock foundation from Temptu. Please make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that you can follow my journey with the Hydra Lock to see if I actually think that it is a bomb or if it's a total fail completely. Because if you know me, you know I love the water-based. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you liked it. Once again, make sure you're subscribed to my channel so we can stay in touch. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.